Okay. Well, I'm Pastor George, and this is Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. First off, when you first walk into our sanctuary, you'll see that we have our focus on Christ right at the beginning. And our focus is always lifted up to the risen Christ. Over here on my right, you'll see the organ, and we've been really excited. We got our extra rank of pipes in here, so you can just kind of see this is our new renewed organ. That organ, by the way, came from St. Peter's Catholic Church. They got a big fancy new one, and so we were able to purchase that from them. And then after a few years, we added the new pipes. The story behind this: these were originally funeral organs. Everything fit in the box. And then, as you wanted to expand it, then you take pipes out of the box and add it. So everything was, these wooden ones up here, all fit in the box going like that. And so when we had the organ tuner come and organ rebuilder, he just took them out and straightened them all up. So it has a much bigger sound.
Very cool.
Our piano. All of our pews here came from one of the Lutheran churches in Hayesville. Some Lutheran churches you will see will have kneelers. We do not. The church that we got these out of, that's what they put in, were kneelers. Up here, we have our altar rail. We have weekly communion, and we have communion under both kinds, bread and wine. And we also serve wine in two ways. We do it with a chalice, which I'll show you, and the individual cups. And this is simply the cup receiver. People either kneel or stand. This right here, this is our altar. This is a freestanding altar. This right here is called parament. When you walk into a church, you will see the images on the pulpit and on the altar or on the lectern, and they will all show the season of the color of the season. And right now we're in Epiphany, which is normally white, and then there are a couple Sundays in there where we have green, which is the symbol of life. The candles that we have are the new oil-filled candles. You'll see these in many of the churches now. We're moving from the regular wax candles to oil-filled. Saves a lot of money. This right over here is our Paschal candle. What we do is we light this for all the festivals of the church year. And again, this is an oil-filled one. You'll notice we have the Alpha and the Omega, the Chi-Rho, which is a symbol for Jesus Christ. And right down here, we have Jesus Christ as the Lamb. Okay. Have our baptismal font right directly underneath Christ to remind us we come through Christ into our liberty and faith. Then we have, showing this right here is called a paten. This is the chalice. And what we have is called the ciborium. This is simply the container for the bread. The chalice is, of course, for the wine. And then what we have when we serve the bread, what we do is we have two things. What we do is we vest the chalice, and what that means is we have what is called a veil that goes over the top. Then we place our plate, a platen on top, and we have a special large host. It is simply the same host, only much bigger. And so that is always placed right here in the center, and that is the one that I lift up so that everyone can see it. Okay? And then what happens is when we go along the rail, I take the ciborium in my hand and I give the individual Christian the bread, and the helper comes along with the chalice, and another comes along with the plates, very much like what you have in your church with the individual glasses. Okay. Over here we have our pulpit and lectern combined. I'm the pastor who preaches from right down there. I like to stand right here so that I like to stand right here so that I can preach to the people. And what I found when I came here is that some of the older folks just found it a little harder to see up there. So I just came down and I just preach here, and it's a lot more free, much freer. Okay? And then the lector, the person who reads the text, he or she reads from up there, and the candles, of course, are illuminating the Word of God as the light. We have our processional cross. Whenever we have our service, the cross is always here by the reading. And what I do is I carry the cross in at the opening hymn. Okay, so we sing. As the people are singing, I bring the cross in. I have a prayer right here. I place it here, and the service starts. So we bring the image of bringing the cross in. Okay. The other thing that we have in our someday we'll probably have some stained glass windows. These are the plain windows for right now. And we have, if you just take a look at Christ, we have the image of the risen Christ. And you will find in some churches that you will have Christ on the cross, as we call it crucifix. But this is a symbol of the risen Christ. That's our focus. And you see the rays of light coming out from him. That's to illuminate he is the light of the world. You also find within Lutheran churches there are always plants, living plants, signifying God's creation. You will never find a plastic plant in a Lutheran church.
I did not know that.
That's a real big deal. When I was in my liturgics class, learning how to do worship, that was the big thing. No plastic plants. It always had to be live because it's symbolizing the creation of God. Now, if you'd like to pause, let me take you into the pyramid room, and I want to show you some of the other pyramids we have.